Hello everyone, it's Levi. This video is entitled "Your Favorite Action Stars Are on Steroids, So What?" I want to start with the disclaimer of saying that just because your favorite actor or a football player, professional athlete, just because they're on steroids doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make them an evil person. There's a lot of millions of Americans drink alcohol all the time that has no real positive benefits for your body. Smoke cigarettes, destroying their lungs. Steroids, especially testosterone. If testosterone is given under a doctor's care and in the proper amounts, could be way more beneficial for a person than harmful. It matters how much you're getting and your specific physical condition, your specific health. But like a lot of people, once they passed around 40 or so, their testosterone production is very low. So if a doctor sees how low it is and he gives you enough to take it to what maybe it would have been producing when you were 18 or 20, you could probably be on that plan for years and years and years with no ill side effects. So the point I'm trying to make is I don't care if someone famous takes steroids. I'm not going to say that I support it. I'm not going to say I'm opposed to it. I'll just say, whatever decision they choose to make, they choose to make. So now I got that disclaimer out of the way. A lot of people don't want to believe that a person that they like is on steroids. And I got another video where I kind of went into that a little bit. But let's say you're an actor. Your livelihood, the way you feed your family and pay all your bills and get that nice car, your livelihood is getting acting jobs. So the difference between occasionally getting a role that pays a smaller amount or getting a bigger roles as the years pass that pay bigger amounts and getting roles more often, based on the society that we live in, that puts a high emphasis on how good you look. The difference is being more muscular, more fit, more lean. It is going to get you more roles. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is going to get you more roles. So the quote dirty little secret in Hollywood is most of your muscular action stars are taking something. It may not be horse steroids. It might just be standard human testosterone. But most of them are taking something. Anytime you see a actor that looks one way, whether they look average or slightly muscular, and then they do this interview and they talk about 6 months later, they're like, well, I had to take 4 or 5 or 6 months to really beef up for this role, and I put on 35 pounds of muscle, and I worked out really hard, and I ate a lot of protein. When they try to convince the people who don't know any better, people who haven't been in the fitness industry for decades, they try to convince you that somehow in 4 to 6 months they added 30 pounds of muscle. And I'm here to tell you, you do not add 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months. You do not add 30 pounds of muscle in a year. If it's your first 1 to 2 years of strength training ever, you will make your biggest gains, especially the first whole year, but up to the first 2 years, you will make your biggest, most drastic gains in your body. And then the more your body gets used to being pushed all the time, and it's not so much as a shock on your system, the more your body gets used to that, the rate at which you gain muscle slowly declines a little bit more year by year. But you ask any expert on the matter, and they're going to tell you that you get your biggest gains your first year, anywhere from your first 1 to 2 years, and then it just starts dropping. Um, an average adult male who hits the gym for the very first time in their life and goes at it with full, intense dedication, like just pushing themselves hard. An average size adult male, let's say a male that started out at 160, 170, that first year of training, they're probably going to add anywhere from 7 to maybe 15 pounds of muscle in one whole year. That's 15 pounds in one whole year. The first year that you've shocked your muscles and really pushed them hard. And keep in mind that you just said that with each year, the rate that you can gain goes down more and more and more. If you was already a really big guy who just happened to just now start training, let's say you're 6'2" and you're already 245, 250 when you start in the gym, maybe best case scenario, genetics and dedication, maybe that first year you could put on 20 pounds in an entire year. But all the claims about I packed 25, 30 pounds of muscle in a few months training for a movie, when you're already an adult in your 30s or 40, and especially if you've already been training for more than 2 or 3 years, those claims are all false. People don't have to believe me, but I do know what I'm talking about. I've been around the strength training scene since, serious since 1994, so I can with about 90% accuracy spot someone and make the claim, okay, that person is on steroids. You can show me a bunch of pictures of guys and I can say, he's got to be on them, he's got to be on them, he's got to be on them. It's possible to be on steroids and not look like you're on them, and that's due to poor eating and poor dedication and not trying hard, because you're not going to suddenly beef up just because you take something. So there are people in the gym that are on steroids and they don't have a lot of dedication, but they just think that's their magic pill to getting better, and you're not going to notice it. But believe me, when you're in the gym and they look like a comic book character, the way, a lot of them are drawn, or like in these action shows, where your shoulders are really, 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 really thick with big old caps on them, and your back is just like super, super wide. Your back is super wide and comes way down to a V. When everything looks really, really exaggerated, if you're a betting man, you can bet about 9 out of 10 times with probably 90% accuracy that person that just looks unnatural freaky, like where every single person that walks by looks and goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, you're probably going to have a 90% accuracy that person is on steroids. It's a lot more prevalent than what people realize. And see, the thing is, there's been a stigma attached to it over the years, which is slowly starting to be reduced, that stigma. And so in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, everybody wanted to deny it. Like nobody wanted, it would be almost like saying, yeah, this person secretly does a line of cocaine. And then like they're obviously not going to, they're not going to say, yeah, I do it. So it was almost that kind of stigma. Everyone was denying it. And there's still a stigma attached around it now. So most famous people, if they're interviewed and asked, do you take any steroids? Almost every single one is going to say no. The ones that actually admit to it are like some bodybuilders now are starting to admit to it. A few sports players have admitted to it, but it's way more prevalent than what people realize. But just the point I'm trying to make is the fact that anyone with a fair amount of money and a fair amount of fame If they start looking like really freaky, where everyone's like, "Wow, check that out," it's a really good chance they're on it. And people think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not exaggerating. It's true statement, um, and that's just basically the way it is. A lot of people that I like watching on TV. I like watching movies. They're on them. Probably people probably wanting to hear names on this video, but in my so-called professional opinion, The Rock, there's absolutely no way on planet Earth that he's not on steroids. I know what a lifelong natural weightlifting person looks like, and there's no way on planet Earth that The Rock is not on steroids. I would say probably it's about a 70% chance that Hemsworth, that plays Thor, is on him. Hugh Jackman, yes. When you look at how old he is and how muscular he got in his like mid 40s, he definitely took him. Probably the Chris Pratt, the one that played Captain America, he's on him. Um, I don't know. The list goes on and on, but that's just what it is. This is Eagle out. Thanks for watching.